the concept of goal setting. So it's going to be very, very interactive, because that is the only way you get it. And that's just the honest truth. It's going to be quite difficult for someone that is not here actively participating to get the idea behind this. But then I'm glad you are here to get the very best out of this. So if you've ever set a goal before, I'm just curious, right? Let's imagine I'm in GSS1. So if you've ever set a goal before, just type in yes in the comment section. And whether you type yes or no, no problem. I also would like to hear from you. What are goals? What are goals, right? What are goals? Just talk to me. Let me get to hear from you, because we are about to have a deep dive into the concept of goal setting. And this is one word that you would hear in every single industry or profession or business. You have to set a goal. You have to set a goal. There has to be a goal for the company to move, for the organization to move, for the business to move. What are the goals? What are the goals? What are we looking at? Goals, 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 goals. These are things that we always talk about. But then I'm just curious and I want to hear from you. What are goals? What are goals? So talk to me in the comment section. All right. What is a goal? I want to know. I want to learn from you. And then let's see how we can have a deep dive. Or if you want to unmute, that's still fine. So we have an interactive session. If you're shy, you don't want to unmute, drop in the comment section. What is a goal? What is a goal? Let's see. And there's no wrong answer. Any answer you type, trust me, is very correct. What is a goal? Because we need to know what a goal is before we even talk about setting it. You can have all the dynamics as regards to setting it, but if you don't know what is a goal, then there's trouble in paradise. Okay, there's trouble in paradise. So goals are clear outcomes or achievements intended to achieve within a time frame. Okay, all right. Can you give me an example? Just an example. With this definition, give me an example. Just a simple example. Let's work with it. Goals are clear outcomes, crystal clear, or achievements intended to achieve within a time frame. My dictionary said goals are aims. Just did it like that. Say goals are aims. I said, all right, thank you very much. Okay, so give me an example with this definition you've given. Just give me an example so that we're on the same page. I intend. Okay. All right. So I intend to build my house by December 2026. Okay. So you set the goal to build your house by December 2026. All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Now, when it comes to goals, it is important that the bet of it is anchored on how we say it, because this is what you can never forget when it comes to getting the foundation of every single thing. Remember I said before we talk about setting, we must understand what are goals, right? So, and always, life does not reward you based on your efforts but based on your definitions. And if your definition of a concept is flawed, your ideology upon which everything is built, it will be an error, or it's not going to lead you to your desired outcome. So we're going to work with what you have on your screen. Now, to teach someone Hausa or Igbo, what is the first thing to teach the person? We're going to come back to what you stated, but I'm just curious. If you want to teach somebody Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, what is the first thing you teach the person? What is the first thing? What's the first thing? Somebody talk to me in the comment section. What this person wants to learn? Okay, this is a Russian, came all the way on a vacation to Nigeria and said, okay, I want to learn Hausa. Pardon my Hausa, I made a mistake. That's Hausa, not Hausa. Okay, so somebody came in all the way from Italy and says, okay, I want to learn Igbo. What is the first thing you teach this person? I'm just curious. Somebody talk to me in the comment section. All right, being somebody that is eloquent in Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba, what is the first thing you teach the person? Anybody in the comment section? What's the first thing? The alphabet of that language. Fantastic. All right. Very, very correct. If you miss the alphabet of a language, you can never teach that person at 100%. Now, mind you, you can still teach the person some things, but because the foundation is not set right, the person cannot confidently be able to modify. So how we put it is this: whatever a man or woman cannot define will overwhelm him or her. Whatever a man or woman can define, he or she can modify. So if you get the alphabet right, so the alphabet is like the formula. Once you get the alphabet right, every single thing falls into it. And getting the concept of goals is like the formula. Once you get it right, every single thing falls into it. Why am I saying this? This is what most people do. They chase, right? Back to your definitions. Goals are clear outcomes or achievements intended to achieve in a time frame. So what more people do when it comes to goals is that they chase outcomes and not process. And once the outcome has been achieved, they can repeat the process. And I'll explain using an example that we can all relate to. I want to become a millionaire. I want to become a millionaire. And that will say that's a goal, right? That's a goal. And no matter how you make it smart, this time, that time, see, it's a smart goal. You add all those things, so it becomes fat. It no longer becomes because I want to become a millionaire within this time, right? And you state a specific amount you're looking at is now a smart goal. The challenge is how smart it becomes. You are still chasing an outcome, not the process. So when it comes to the goals, the most important thing is not the outcome, but the process. If we're on the same page, give me a yes. It's the process, because it is the process that would enable the outcome become a success one. It is a process that will enable the outcome become sustained. If this is not understood, what happens is the person keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's why Jim Rohn said, El Shove, which was his mentor then, said, Jim, set a goal to become a millionaire, not for what it will make of you to achieve it. No, rather for for the person you will become when you have achieved it. So I don't know if somebody's getting me. She was telling me, don't set the goal because of the status of becoming millionaire, because of the status, the realm it will take you into. Set the goal because of the person you will become, so that peradventure you lose everything. Because of who you have become, you can sustain it. If we're on the same page, somebody give me a yes. And this is the reason why somebody will enter the university and say, I have set a goal for myself. And that goal is to graduate with first class. For once, does the person pay attention to the process of becoming that kind of person? His focus is first class. So whatever it takes, once he hits first class, he doesn't know what to do again. That's why we have a lot of challenges where, somebody attains a level cannot reproduce that level. Why? Because the process, the attention was not paid to the process. So why am I taking my time to explain this? Because if this is not clear, no matter what the setting is done, you see, there are some people that, because the concept of goal is clearly understood, whatever they set to achieve, it is done. Whatever they set to achieve, the outcome they set. And there are some that no matter the outcome, it will not happen. It will not happen. So if you're take note of this. You can never achieve a goal which is not set. You can never achieve a goal which is not set. But then I'll bring it home. All right. You cannot set a goal without a vision. So I'm unmasking it. When it comes to goals, what is more important is the vision. So it is from the vision that you move from. Okay, so you don't move to the vision, you move from the vision. So the vision first is what comes, and through the vision, direction is bettered. So the synergy between the vision and the direction is now the goal. The synergy between, now it's okay if this thing is not really clear. It's 1 year, 1 year. So you have to, maybe some people will take like tomorrow, next tomorrow for you to get it. It's fine. It's fine. So we'll have to go through this video again to get it. But stay with me. What am I trying to achieve here? Let me just declutter it. This is the big picture I'm bringing home. All right. The vision is a destination. I want to, for example, I want to build a house, right? That's the vision. The purpose now is the direction. And the goal that people always focus on and they call the aim, what you need to understand, the goal is self. It is you. It is you. Without you, there is no vision. And when there's no vision, no need for the direction. And to show you how deep this concept is, because like I said, it's your definition that drives everything. So all along, what we have known is, set goal, you do this one, you do that one, and then you do the. But how come a lot of people, the number states that only 20% of people actually have goals, and out of that 20%, only 3 to 5% have their goals written down. But where is the guarantee that for the fact that you've written down your goal, you achieve it? It's just stated that they have a high chance of achieving it. But this is the crux of the matter here. Gaining clarity on this. That the vision becomes clear, and this is what I want, and then there's direction. So let me use going to heaven. Let's say going to heaven is the vision, so that we get this. Everybody wants to go to heaven. And let's say the direction to heaven is using my right hand. And where we don't want to go to is hellfire, right? So that's my left hand. And the direction, that is my left hand. The goal, which is the entity, you, all right, will now face my right. So it is from the vision that you begin to advance. So your vision determines your decision. I don't know if somebody's getting me. My vision, which is heaven, I now turn discover is at my right. It now determine my decision to go this way. But let me ask you this. What if we have a scenario where there are potholes, right? And there are armed robbers on this right-hand side. And the only way for me to get to heaven is through KK. That's the heavenly path. And the path to death, destruction, there's a Rolls Royce, there's a Maserati, straight road, nothing, no destruction. Which would you choose? Would you choose to still go right, knowing that there's a keke napep, there are armed robbers, there's pothole, because the vision is heaven? Or would you choose to say, okay, Rolls Royce, Maserati, clear road, but then it ends with death? Which would you choose? Which would you choose? I'm waiting for feedback. Which would you go for? Which would you go for? You have two options. We either go left, we go right. If you go right, danger, 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 or you achieve your vision. You go left, no danger, right to keke and pothole, beautiful. Now, why did I have to add all those things, right? The truth of the matter is, when you begin to advance towards your vision, there will be challenges. There's those challenges that makes the entity more toughened and strong. But here is what you need to understand. That in advancement towards the vision, because it's as clear as day, right? Your direction, right? And those things that you face is what makes you the person you become in the process that can sustain that vision. If I'm to paraphrase what I said earlier. So the hurdles and the arm robbers and all those things are to make you a kind of person that when the vision is sustained, it can be reproduced over time. But like I said, there can be no vision without you. So the entity is the most important thing. So rather than focusing on goal setting, the right thing we're supposed to focus on is self-setting. Who do I need to become? Who do I need to become? What kind of person do I need to become for me to be able to build that house? Is somebody gets me now? Is it now clear? What kind of person? Because I was speaking with a friend sometime last year, and her goal, her goal was to get married. That's her goal. Oh. But for once, did this lady not, because she's not aware, you understand? So we'll cut her some slacks. So she doesn't understand this concept. If she understood this concept, she will not set a goal to become, I want to get married. The ultimate becoming is how to become a wife. I don't know if somebody's getting me. Because the challenge is she gets married and she did not become a wife. There's now trouble. Hey, is somebody getting me? Same thing with the example with the analysis. So the person ends up with the millions, but did not become a millionaire. That's why the person will lose it. That's why the marriage will be dancing left, right, and center. I want a child, no problem. But have you become a mother? So division, no, we're not questioning division. It is so legit. But the entity has not or is not in a process of metamorphosis, of becoming. It is that becoming that will make everything rock solid. The outcome of learning is knowledge, right? Is knowledge. So when learning has been taken away, what you are left with is knowledge. And the reason we say somebody is knowledgeable is because that person can reproduce an outcome. So when we look at all of these put together, the ultimate question is, who are you becoming? And it has to be an intentional act. Because if there's no you, there can be no vision. So you are key. The person you are becoming. I don't know the goal you set for yourself, right? But you see, when you say this is the vision, the most important thing are the processes you will take. Okay, we're reading a book, right? 5 pieces of life puzzles. Introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, book closes. And the goal is to read this book in the month of July. For somebody that does not understand what we are explaining, right? For somebody that does not understand the cost in that book, the person did not allow the book to penetrate him or her to become a kind of person. And that's immediately where you have to challenge. Straight up, you have to challenge. All right, please confirm that you can hear me. Kindly confirm you can hear me. No, okay. I don't know. The slide just went off. All right, let's go back again. So the most important thing there is what you become. So there's just, you're not supposed to go through anything and then just remain that way. No. That means to show that you're becoming, there are certain things as regards that book that it begins to show in your life. That's why some business persons will say how they read is they just pick an idea off a book and they begin implementing it ASAP. There's no point reading the whole book. If you will not implement one thing, it's a waste of time. Don't even read the book. Just say you don't like reading. But why go through the book and then you see? It's the same way you hear a lot of persons tell you, I've read the Bible, I've read the Bible, I've read the Bible, I've read the Bible. That was just a goal they set for themselves. So let me read the Bible. That's it. That's just that basic understanding of a goal. I set a goal to read the Bible. But it was not positioned from a level of this is a vision and this is a direction and this is who I want to become. This is the kind of person I'm seeking to become. As I want, two people would even say, okay, this is the path we want to go to, but the outcome is totally different because of this little concept. So goals actually have nothing to do with targets, but everything to do with you. It has nothing to do with target, but everything to do. That's why Dr. Elijah said that. He said at the beginning of this year, he said, be more focused on activities than the results. And a lot of people think, they just shouted value. Be more focused on who you become, on becoming, than the outcome. Because we've seen situations where a lot of people will say, and if you can just ask 10 people, maybe this young generation, the Gen Zs, them, right? I say young generation, as if I'm not young. I'm young. and then you ask them, what do you want? This one will tell you, I want to make money. How much? Plenty money. And what they are saying is vague. They are not focused on who they need to become to achieve that outcome. It is the becoming that makes all the difference. It is the becoming. And it made me remember a lady, and I'm sure that same person or some other people will do that same thing again. Sometime last year, Ember period, a lady came out on Twitter and there was just different ladies doing that stuff. I said, okay, I've read 200 books this year. And this one said, I've read 100 books, and said, I've read 50 books, 300 books. And people were shouting, clapping. And I'm like, okay, fine. My assignment is to question. So first off, my sister, you are a medical student, and all the book you say you have read, all these books are love related, relationship book, love. I don't walk me through. What is the essence of what you did? Well, obviously, it's for us to clap, which we did. Because I didn't see where she said I'm an author, right? Or what I want to become is a writer or something. My sister, it's science that you are doing. It's medicine you are studying. You're confusing everybody. So to this group of people, she achieved her goal. Yeah. I'm telling you, she's treating broken hearts. Yeah. To the other people, we're just saying that, my sister, you wasted time. It would have been better that we're looking at 200 medical books. Then we say, okay, she's going somewhere. And we notice a difference as regards to your approach with what you do. But then, what you don't know is greater than you. That's the honest truth. What you don't know is greater than you. Because we have focused on targets and ignored the actual thing to improve and alter, which is you. So when we say, okay, we want to hit this target, the question is, the individual in context, has this person become, or is this person in the process of becoming that kind of person that will achieve this result? That's the most important thing. That is the most important thing. After the man that landed on the moon, this is like the second most important thing. Understanding self. Because if you cannot calibrate yourself, it's like a programming that once self has been set, and then we now know that dy equals the x, every other thing is a piece of cake. But if that is not set, then there's a problem. And to somebody that does not understand this, you keep wishing and waiting that, oh, one day, this will happen, that will happen. But nothing seems to change. Everything just seems to remain the same. Okay, okay. All right, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Fantastic. Okay, so the truth is, we have focused on targets and ignore the actual thing to improve, which is you. So the question is, who then are you? Because you are actually the crux of the matter in the entire essence of this concept of goal setting. Is you, is you. All right. That's why when I forgot the name, when the president of America asked um the guys in charge of NASA then and said, what would it take for us to go to the moon? And the response, I've forgotten the name of the president and the name of the other guy that conversation happened with. And he said, Mr. President, all we need is the will to do it. That's all. What would it take for us to get to the moon? Said, Mr. President, the will to do it. There's the kind of person we need to become, Mr. President. Just once we enter that person, moon, consider it done. Full stop. So it's a principle that just a few persons they understand. And perhaps your concept of you is flawed, then you need to go back a little bit and understand that we're made in the image and likeness of God. So therefore, who are we? We are God. And there are certain things that He has handed over to us to say, take. And when you don't do these things, you begin to pursue, things and all of that. Why? Because from the vision, that vision that you have, right? That is where wealth is created. So it anchors on every single framework. That's why I said once your definitions are clear cut, it alters your philosophy and gives you ease as regards to growth. I'm not here today to discuss how to set a goal, right? What are the 7 steps? All the saying. What are the 7 steps to set goal? Write it down, be specific, time bound, this and that, be realistic, yada yada yada. No. I'm more interested on the person, right? Than the outcome. I'm more interested on the person that will go through the process for the person to understand that, okay, this is a journey of becoming. And more importantly, I need to pay attention to the becoming process because that is how I can reproduce an outcome. This is the very reason why a lot of persons, they have attained wealth to some extent, but they cannot seem to duplicate it in their children, in their friends, and it looks as if they are wicked. They're not wicked, right? But to them, they'll just tell you that it was by the grace of God. We are not downplaying the grace of God. Oh, my brother, you did something. My sister, you did something. But because they were not attentive to the process, when the outcome arrived, they could not repeat it. They could not repeat it. So a man that is intentional as regards the process and achieves an outcome would not fright when the outcome is taken away. He will just go back and use the entire process and reproduce it again. And because he now has that formula, he can now implement it in other things, and it looks as if whatever he or she lays his or her hands on, it turns to gold. It turns to gold. If you're on the same page, give me a yes, give me a yes, give me a yes. Right? But then, like I said, I started with the idea that the world does not reward us. So it's not your efforts per se that is the determining factor, it's your definition. So when we talk about the concept of goal, are you seeing it as, okay, take for example, right? I believe this is Mrs. Jane. So let's say Mama is looking at a promotion in the office from I don't know the ranks, but let's say from 2 star to 3 star. There's a kind of person you need to become, right? So that's a vision. I have visualized and I know that I'm a 2 star, but the vision is 3 star. And there's a direction I need to follow, right? Purpose, a direction I need to follow to get this. So it is from the vision I begin to operate. So I have to now become a kind of person, right, that would attain that outcome, even though that outcome is not yet here. So when you get this concept correctly, before the outcome will come, you're ready for it. You're ready for it. I don't know if that illustration is clear. You're very ready for it. And even the universe will just say, no, you deserve it, take. You deserve it, take. And when you begin to actually operate with this mentality, people think you're lucky, but it's not luck. It's not luck. You now know that you have the power to actually begin to program certain things and they happen. All right? And they happen. And I'm going to end with this. You are limited by what you know. Full stop. You are limited by what you know. And if I'm to reverse it, you're also strengthened by what you know. But here's the crux of the matter. What you know is actually a fraction of what is out there. That's the honest truth. That is the that's why it's just how would I put it? It's not, you cannot debate the fact that you just need to study. Right? The Bible says study to show yourself approved. Study to show yourself approved. So the question is, what is driving you? The concepts that are driving you, because we're discussing, the concept of goal settings. Are they things that somebody somewhere just gave it to you? Because if you check your dictionary, even if you ask ChatGPT, they tell you goals are aims, goals are targets that you want to achieve. But they're not laying premises on the fact that this goal thing signifies an entity that you're supposed to become to achieve that which you have set for yourself to achieve. As easy as that. As easy as that. So you're limited by what you know. And the question is, what do you know? So this is to be continued. This is to be continued. The assignment is simple. Who are you? Because once you get this right, every other thing falls into place. Who are you? That's the assignment. But more importantly, we're going to work on this video so it will be out so that you can actually take your time and go through it again and again and again and again and again, so that you can intentionally, right, say, okay, this is, once you calibrate yourself, right? And once you calibrate yourself, you can now say, okay, this is, now, let me help us, okay? So I don't assume. Let me help us. I'm opening up my, I'm an art student, so science students, you guys are the ones that would actually get clarity. Okay, it's easy clarity. Now, calibrate means to mark with a standard scale of reading, to adjust or take external factors into account, or to allow comparison with other data. So to take external factors into account, right? So to calibrate self, there are certain things you need to take into account. Okay, this, that, this, that, this, that. Calibrating yourself, it's not a one-way thing, right? Just something you just say, okay, it's done. Because if the calibration is not correct, it's like how a water heater works, or a water kettle, works. You get to a level that it has been calibrated, that once it hits this degree Celsius, it makes a sound. So that's an example of calibration. So you yourself can also be calibrated or recalibrated. And once that is done, whatever you set is a success. There's a kind of person you become upon calibration. There are some kind of people that cannot hang around. They are not comfortable around you. They are not comfortable around you. Honestly speaking, they are not. They are not. That's just the honest truth. They're not. So if you say, I don't like the people that are around me, I don't like the people that are around me, what do you think you need to do? Recalibrate yourself. Full stop. I don't know if somebody's hearing me. I don't like the people around me. I don't like the people around me. I don't know why I always have this kind of people. A friend a while back was complaining that the kind of men that approach me are this kind of people, the kind of men that approach are this kind of people. And I'm like, I don't think the men are the problem. You are the problem. I know human beings, we don't like to hear that we're the problem, but that's the truth of the matter, right? You are the problem. So if you recalibrate you, this kind of men will not come around you. Please, am I speaking the same language as you? Am I speaking the same language as you? So recalibration is so key. It's like somebody saying, I don't like the fact that they are lizards in my house, when you are the same person that went into the farm and you carried a log of wood with insects on it. So the lizards are only here because the insects, you brought the insects in. So guess what? If we take the wood outside and throw it outside, the lizards will definitely leave, right? So you see that while all of this activity was happening, something was constant, which is you making all of this movement. But my hope is while we've stayed together this evening, you've actually gotten a glimpse of what we have discussed thus far, right? What we have discussed thus far. So if you've learned something this evening, just give me a yes in the comment section. And not just that, type what exactly you learned. Okay, we discussed this evening the concept of goal setting. The concept of goal setting. What exactly did you learn? What exactly? That's what I want to know, because it will be wrong that from the beginning to the end, right, you don't pick out anything. Remember what I said, right? The outcome of learning is knowledge. So knowledge is the thing that you'll be left with at the end of the day. And you can now take that knowledge and reproduce it. So you too can now carry that knowledge and discuss with Nkechi and say, Nkechi, this is the concept of goal setting. And if you get the concept right, you can actually get the essence of setting a goal right. So you set a goal not for what you will achieve when the goal has finally been attained, but you set a goal for the person you become in the process of achieving that thing. That's the most important thing when it comes to having to set a goal. Self. And that is why, see, when you understand the becoming process, no matter what the challenge is, you go through it. No matter what the challenge, you go through it. You just enter. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So I'm saying it's not about the results, but the process. Okay. Fantastic.